So the spiritual master, on one level, it is said, Sakshat Dharit Vena Samasta Sastraya, that the spiritual master should be worshipped as good as Krishna. But on the other hand, an authorized spiritual master will never consider himself to be Krishna. He realizes that he is eternally the servant of Krishna. So it appears that there is a conflict. On one hand, a guru will close his ears and run away if anyone dares to call him God. But on the other hand, the disciples are being told to worship him as good as God. The acharyas explain that Guru Tattva is God, because Guru Tattva is personified and originates in Lord Balaram, who is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with all full opulences. So the spiritual master, he has that inspired side by which Krishna is directly speaking through him. And Krishna's mercy is directly coming to us through him. But on the other hand, such a person is a Vaishnava. He considers himself the servant of the servant of the servant. He considers himself to be nothing. And it is almost a contradiction unless we understand carefully. Just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is the guru for all of us. He is Shiksha Guru for every Gaudiya Vaishnava. Because it is through him that the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have been revealed. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami prays that I am more degraded and more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, and I am lower than the worms in stool. And if anyone hears my name, he loses all piety. And if anyone speaks my name, he becomes sinful. This is what he thinks of himself. And he's being completely honest. And yet, he is giving us the highest truths. And he's expecting us to accept them and surrender to what he says. He explains. Because it is the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is the order of Lord Nityananda Balaram, that I write this Chaitanya Charitamrita. I am not writing. Whatever words are coming from my pen are being spoken by Rup and Sanatan and Raghunath Das, and by Lord Nityananda Balaram himself, and by the source of all, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am simply delivering their message as they are inspiring me to speak. So from his side as Guru, he is revealing the highest truths to us, and he is engaging us in the service of the Lord. But in his personal side as a Vaishnava, he's saying, keep away from me, because if you even speak my name, you will become sinful. But if you do what I say, you will go back to Godhead. But of course, there was no difference between what he did and what he said. An acharya is one who teaches by his words, but his example in life must be non-different than his words. And where we see that example, and where we hear those words, we are being embraced by Krishna. We are making that connection with Krishna through the Guru Tattva. So we can understand the great importance of Lord Balaram and his divine associates, or his representatives. For a Vaishnava who is allowing this mercy to flow into the world through him, that Vaishnava must, by nature, be very humble, as Krishnadas Kaviraj or as Srila Prabhupada and the other great acharyas have exhibited. Because the more they feel the greatness of Krishna flowing through them, the more as jivatmas, who are insignificantly small in comparison to this power flowing to them, they feel themselves that much more insignificant. And they must give all credit to Krishna. They must give all credit to the connection that they have with Krishna, which means through their spiritual master. When Srila Prabhupada came to this world and was preaching the glories of Lord Sri Chaitanya's mercy, he would remind us often that I am simply repeating the words of my spiritual master. It is his mercy that I am giving to you. Sometimes in such a great soul, there may be particular personal characteristics of that soul, which we may like or we may not like. Because as a Vaishnava, everyone has their own unique personal characteristics. And as Vaishnava, everyone has their unique loving relationship with Krishna, even in the most exalted stages. But the message that is coming through them is the truth that ultimately we must surrender to. Krishna consciousness is a process of personalism. In Vaishnava philosophy, everything is personal. There is nothing impersonal. The impersonalists, their conclusion is that ultimately everything is impersonal, and all personal conception is a temporary illusion. But the Vaishnava theology, which is the highest understanding of the Vedic literatures, teach us that everything is personal. Even the impersonal Brahmajyoti is made up of spiritual sparks that are all personal living entities. And that whole spiritual atmosphere of the Paravyoma, of Brahmajyoti, is the personal rays emanating from the body of Krishna. And every jivatma, na tvevaham jatu na sam na tvam na me janadipa, na chaiva na bhavishyama saravivaya mataparam. We are all eternally individuals, personalities. And every personality, by Krishna's infinite glory, is unique. There are no two jivatmas alike. There are no two nitya siddhas of the spiritual world alike. This is the greatness of Krishna. How he can expand himself in innumerable, unlimited forms, and yet each one is unique. There are basic categories in which various rasas of the spiritual world come under. But within that, every living entity has its own specific personal relationship with Krishna as a servant of the servant of the servant. And each being has his own specific traits. We see this even in this material world. On the material level of matter, which is endlessly mutable, limited, and temporary. And what incredible opulence Krishna has as the creator, to create so much, and everything is unique. There are not two atoms, molecules, electrons, or neutrons that have exactly the same qualities as one another. They are all unique. What to speak of in the spiritual world, where everything is unlimited, infinite. There is infinite variegatedness. And within that variegatedness, everything is personal. Everything is a personality. And in the spiritual world, every personality is completely surrendering one's free will in an expression of love for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. That is Vaikuntha. And Goloka is that platform of consciousness wherein all of the innumerable living beings are loving Krishna and worshiping Krishna in such intimacy that the power of their prema makes them forget that he's even God. It becomes so intimate that he is my friend, or he is my child, or he is my lover. So the great Vaishnavas, they have their personalities, they have their characteristics, and oftentimes their personalities and characteristics very much attract or charm our hearts to become more and more attached to Krishna. And those things, what we call Vapu, are helpful in our spiritual progress. But more essential and important than that is the Vani. The Vani is that Guru tattva, that absolute manifestation of Krishna himself that is coming through them, through the instructions, and through the example that they set. And this is unchangeable. Evam parampara praptam idam rajashaya vudu. It is this unchanging message, this undiverted siddhanta that the spiritual master is giving us. And through that, we are being connected to Krishna. And through that service to that truth, we become purified and elevated into Krishna consciousness. So we can understand the most merciful and exalted position of Lord Balaramji in our own lives, because it is specifically his mercy of Guru Tattva that is giving us the facility and the chance to purify ourselves and return to our original spiritual position and go back home, back to Godhead. It is specifically by his causeless mercy coming through his divine representatives in Parampara that give us a chance to be relieved from the endless struggles and sufferings of material existence, and there is no other hope. One cannot approach Krishna except through Guru Tattva, except through Balaram.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on thesacredconnect.com.